Good evening, everyone. I am Banyan, and I welcome you all to the famous Battle of English. Today, we are here to the wonderful events which is held once a week every Sunday under the coordination of our English literature Atchuthan Yogaraj, and I honorably welcome him and our presenters to this wonderful event. First of all, I am going to tell you about the famous poem Richard Cory. Richard Cory is written by the famous American poet Edward Arlington Robinson, who was one uh, price and even this point for Richard Cory appearance or as their perspective. Here also the same idea is prevailed in this poem as a richer person called Richard Cory is coming to a downtown and the people around the pavement who are under the poverty stricken in that economical crisis in the American society is also criticized here as people on the pavement looked at him without any judgments in his characters, only his appearance is maintained in this poem as they see he's a materialistic guy and a well-privileged guy. As so they think that he should be very happy in his life as people think that materialistic and the power is the main reason and the guarantee for the happiness in their life. But the contradictory idea is conveyed in the ironical way of this poem by the Robinson. First of all, I would like to explain the first stanza. First stanza, the narrator expresses the main character Richard Cory and his characters and how he enters the uh, downtown where poverty is stricken. Uh, Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. Here, the plural noun is used as we people, and it indicates the narrator is also the person of the one of the person who is uh, in a poverty in that payment, downtown payment. And Richard Cory is a useful character in that time as he always usefully come to the downtown uh, as well as people saw him usually and without any judgment they due to his clothes and attractive appearance, they think that he is a gentleman from soul to crown. Soul means the symbolically feels that it is symbolically stands for the feet, and usually the richer persons wear crown in their head as king and other privileged guys. So that here also the Richard Cory is exaggerated as a richer than a king as he won a crown. Usually, crown is worn on the top of the head as the narrator wants to tell us from head to feet he is a gentleman, seem to be like a gentleman. He is also clean flavored and impeccably slim. It indicates the physical appearance of Richard Cory as well. In the next stanza, and he always quietly arrayed. Arrayed means he does not want to say that he is rich or he doesn't appear as rich in that as he always when going to a downtown as a normal person. So it in one way we can say that he is does not want to reveal his richness to others. In a figurative manner, we can say that he is not. a rich man now as due to his business faults or some other reasons. So that in other way, in that this poem is also created in that period of 1983, where economic crisis is being in that America. So that due to that also Richard Cory would be is striking in a poverty as he is quietly arrived, and he always was human when he talked. um, Usually, the people who are privileged and who are very happy in his life usually speak as very happily and in a humorous, humanitical way. So that here also here there's the narrator says that he always human when he's talked. Um, but still he flutters pulse when he said. Use the above stem lines are started with the um, conjunction, and as the positive idea of Richard Cory is conveyed in that before lines, but in the changing point is starting here as the conjunction, but says that it is the negative point of Richard Cory is going to emphasize here, as he faltered plus when he said good morning and he glittered when he walks, even though he his appearance seemed to be very well mannered and glitters when he walks. Here, when he spoke and saying the greeting to others, he always his heart beat too much as he said good morning to other people. So it indicates the stress and the mental uh, depression of Richard Cory as he fluttered pulse. So here also the narrator really again to emphasize that we shouldn't expect a person to be rich or good mannered due to his appearance, only for his appearance. Then in the next stanza, he also addresses that his richness is addresses in the third stanza as he is rich, just richer than a king. Uh, the dash indicates that the emphasizement is increased here as he is richer than a king, and the exaggerative hyperbole is indicated that he is even richer than a king. If we know that king is also the richest person in that kingdom, so that people think that Richard Cory is richer than a king, so that the exaggerative manner is emphasized here, and admirably schooled in every grace. Schooled means a well-educated and privileged guy, so that they they think that he is very educated in every grace. In fine, we thought that he was everything to make us wish wise that we were in his place. Eh, in the whole stanzas, in the whole, even in the whole poem, we can see that past tense is used here as Richard Cory no longer appear in the world as he already died, and the thought past tense indicates that before they thought that he was everything to us, but now they the uh, realize the reality of Richard Cory now, as he was no, was not rich in that period. So that the past tense is used here as we thought that he was everything to make us wise that we were in his place. The people, the envy is indicated here as people were things as envious about his appearance and the richness of Richard Cory, and they think that they should also be in his place. In the place is symbol of the standards of Richard Cory in the economical social values uh, contrast. In the last stanza, The contradictory idea is conveyed as he commit a suicide in the last line of the poem. And we worked, waited for light, and went without meat and cursed bread. Uh, for that, the people wish that they want to be in his standards of Richard Cory, so they worked hard to earn more money and waited for the light. Light is a symbol of hope, so that they are hoping that they also be rich one day. So and went without meat and cursed bread. Meat is a symbol of luxury and bread is a symbol of poverty. As people won't avoid the luxuries and uh, made their lives very poverty as they want to earn more money and serve them for a future need. So that bread is also can be a symbol of the economical crisis in America, and even the richer men are cursed with an old bread in that time period. With there are not enough food for the people in that time period, 1983. And then Richard Cory, one calm summer night. Uh, Summer is a symbol of youth, as it indicates that Richard Cory commit a suicide in a young period in his life, and the night is also a symbol of death or negativity. Usually, night symbolizes death or negativity in this life. So that in his youth time he commit a suicide and died in an early age of his life. And when in the last time there's without any reasons for his suicide, he in a euphemistical way, the narrator says that without saying he commits suicide, he said that put a bullet through his head. It is also, even though we know that putting a bullet through his head is seemed to be committing a suicide, but narrator doesn't want to tell that he commit a suicide in a direct way. He figuratively says that he died and committed suicide without any reasons. For that, in this poem, we can get a moral that we shouldn't judge people according to their appearance, and it is appearance is a precept in our lives, and uh, we should think before we leap, and these are the morals we can find in this poem. Thank you for hearing. Next, I would call Devian to speak about the same topic, Richard Cory by Albert Arlington Robinson. Uh, we see how he explain about the poem briefly.
The poem Richard Cory by Edwin was written by Edwin Arlington Robinson, who was a Pulitzer, amazing Pulitzer poet, and he was nominated for a Nobel Prize in literature. Let's look at the poem. If you look at this poem, the first stanza is our introduction to the main character, Richard Cory. He is held in a great esteem by the townspeople and the people in the pavement. And this is clear as he attracts their attention, for they looked at him and noted that he was a gentleman from soul to crown. And the final line of this stanza suggests that he was morally upright fellow, and the adjective imperially implies that he carries a sense of grace and regality about his person. And let's look at the next stanza, second stanza. And the repetition of and he was always shows that shows the consistency and the warmth of the character. The fact that he was always human indicates his sincerity. And despite his wealth and good looks, he talked to people without any fatigue or condescension or pretension. However, this does not stop him from causing a stir when he wishes them good morning. The exclamation mark suggests and portrays that he has a genuine pleasure in meeting others. and he doesn't show any pretense when he greet and says good morning to others. And the verb glittered is ambiguous as it hints as both of his sparkling personality. But in this literal sense, it could be his watch or other account mentors which glint when they catch the sunlight. Although he was quietly arrayed, there was something intoxicating about his personality, which meant that as he passed, he fluttered pulses. We have the immediate image of young ladies catching their breaths and fanning themselves as he passed, and the men looking on wistfully, wishing that they possess something of his wealth. And if you look at the third stanza, after suggesting that he came from the monad background, we are now informed that this was indeed the case, and the dashes in the lines serve to emphasize the point, and the assertion yes and comparative line richer than a king snare the interest of the reader. And there's hyperbole used in this line richer than a king, and we wonder how this man had made his fortune and picture some dashing Gatsby-like character. And however, unlike J. Gatsby, who rose well through illegal business such as gambling and bootlegging, Richard Cory appears to have acquired his riches through his hereditary means and his uh, hereditary means by the reference to a king, or perhaps through business. A doubt is sown in readers' minds in the three of this stanza, where the speaker states, "We thought that he was everything." This alerts us to the fact that all may not be well, and also reminds us the old adage, "Be careful what you wish for." Then the final monosyllabic line with the frequent alteration propels us along to the poem's conclusion. If we look at the fourth stanza, in this stanza, the speaker alludes to the difficulties uh, faced by the other inhabitants on the town. The so at the beginning almost carries a sigh to suggest fatigue and hardship. There is an obvious discrepancy between the life led by the gentleman Richard Cory and the people who look up as idol, look up to him. While he allegedly enjoys the good life, the others struggle. This is conveyed through the long drawn out assonance and the repeated W sound in the first two lines of the stanza, uh, and they have an insufficient money even to have access to the most basic goods, since they went without the meat and cursed the bread. Bread and meat are just a basic uh, goods that they can't even have them because they might have the insufficiency of money, which was obviously of poor quality and lacking in nourishment. Even the word cursed stands out here, as it seems ill-fitting and the descriptions of Cory. There is thus disparity between their lives and that of Cory. Expect that not alone in their suffering, uh, such are his demons that shock them all. By returning home from to his dead head, the reader is left speechless by his revelation and the fact that this event is preceded by the line "one calm summer night" further compounds their shock. And we are left wondering what on earth could have prevented the suicide from a man who appeared to have everything and who appeared to have reached the everything in his life, including the respect of the town people. And the poet mainly conveys the idea of the expectation, the outlook versus reality. Even though Richard Cory seemed like a perfect personality to the people on the pavement, he had some defect in his mind, it might have been a money problem or other his family problems, but the main theme is emphasized by this character Richard Cory, and the poem and the poet is uh, emphasizingly did that job well. Thank you.
Now we are in the conclusion of this event, and I would like to thank you all for your giving your precious time for this event and explaining how about the plots of the English literature poems. And I thank Mr. Atchuthan Yogaraj to give us the opportunity to grow literature skills and knowledge. See you all in the next week with our presentation. Thank you again.